Today, I'm going to show you a full lash lamination using the OKO system with their newest rollers. And honestly, this is one of those procedures where the right tools make all the difference. The rollers I am using today are specifically designed to give a clean, natural-looking curl without that overly dramatic bend that can sometimes happen with older silicone pads. My client has beautiful natural lashes, but they grow quite straight, so our goal is to give them lift, separation, and definition. First step is always cleansing. I use a gentle lash shampoo to remove any makeup residue, oils, or dust from the lashes. This is absolutely non-negotiable. If there is anything sitting on the lash surface, the solutions will not penetrate evenly, and you will end up with an uneven curl. I am also assessing the lash length and thickness as I clean, because that determines which roller size I will choose. Now comes one of the most critical steps, selecting and fitting the roller. I am trying a couple of different sizes here. You want the roller to sit snugly against the eyelid and create the exact curl angle you are aiming for. Too small and the curl will be too tight, almost crimped. Too large and you barely get any lift at all. For this client, I am going with a medium size that gives a beautiful open eye effect without looking overdone. This is the part that requires the most patience. Placing each lash onto the roller, I use fine tweezers to separate and position every single lash individually. No clumping, no crossing, no overlapping. Each lash needs its own space on the roller. This is honestly the step that separates a good lash lamination from a great one. If the placement is messy, no amount of product will fix it. The direction you set the lashes in now is the direction they will hold. Now I am applying the first solution, the Activator. You can see it has a blue tint, which makes it easier to see where you have applied it and ensures even coverage. What this does is break down the disulfide bonds in the lash structure. Think of it like softening the internal scaffolding of the hair. Once those bonds are broken, the lash becomes flexible enough to take on the shape of whatever it is resting against. In this case, our roller. The timing here is crucial. Leave it too short and the curl will not hold. Too long and you risk damaging the lash. I am applying the Activator to both eyes now, making sure every lash from root to tip gets covered. Even distribution is key. You do not want some lashes getting more processing time than others, because that creates inconsistency in the curl pattern. I always work methodically. Inner corner to outer corner, same motion, same amount of product. The first solution has done its work. I am carefully removing it now and checking how the lashes are responding. At this point, the lashes should feel noticeably softer and more pliable. If they still feel resistant, they might need a little more time. But today, everything looks perfect. The timing was right on. Let me clean up any residue before we move to the next step. This transition between solutions matters more than people think. If remnants of the Activator mix with the Neutralizer, it can affect the final result. I use cotton buds to gently wipe away every trace, precision at every stage. Now for step 2, the Neutralizer. This is OKO step 2, and its job is to rebuild those bonds we just broke, but in their new position. Essentially, it locks the curl in place permanently. Well, permanently until the lashes naturally grow out and shed, which takes about 6 to 8 weeks. I am using a compressor along with the product for better penetration and fixation. This technique really helps the Neutralizer work more effectively. While the Neutralizer does its thing, let me talk about why I love the OKO system specifically. The 3-step approach is really well balanced. Some brands have very aggressive activators that give a strong curl but compromise lash health. OKO manages to give excellent curl definition while being gentle enough that the lashes stay healthy and strong. And that matters because if lashes get damaged, they become brittle and can actually break off, which is the opposite of what we want. I am now removing the second solution and carefully separating the lashes again. Even after processing, You want to make sure nothing has stuck together. Each lash should be individual, completely separate from its neighbors. This separation is what gives that fanned-out, fluffy look that everyone loves. Clumped lashes look heavy and unnatural, while properly separated ones look effortlessly beautiful. Looking at both eyes now, the curl is developing nicely. Symmetry is important here. Both eyes should have the same degree of lift. I always step back and compare before moving forward. Small adjustments at this stage can make a big difference in the final look. Step 3. Recovery and moisturizing. This is OKO Step 3, and this is what keeps the lashes healthy after all that chemical processing. It replenishes moisture, strengthens the structure, and adds a protective layer. Some technicians skip this step to save time, and honestly, that is a mistake. Your lashes just went through a chemical process. They need this nourishment. I apply it generously with a cotton swab, making sure every lash gets coated. Now for a bonus step that really elevates the result: lash tinting. The lamination gives structure and curl, but tinting adds color depth and makes the lashes look dramatically thicker and more defined. I apply the tint carefully with a fine brush, working from root to tip. The combination of curl plus color is what creates that wow factor. Lashes that look like you are wearing mascara even though you have nothing on. Alright, we are in the final moments. I am removing the rollers very gently. This part needs to be done carefully to avoid pulling or disrupting the fresh curl. And as the rollers come off, there it is, beautifully lifted, perfectly separated, gorgeously defined lashes. The curl opens up the entire eye area and makes the eyes look bigger, brighter, and more awake. This is exactly what a great lash lamination should deliver: natural beauty, amplified.